Welcome to another episode of Just Kicking It podcast. We're back. We are back in the building. Yeah, man. Another good week of soccer. Another good week of the football, whatever you call it in your part of the world.
Yeah,
We glad you came back. To check us out. What's been going on with you, my brother?
oh man, good to see you, man. All has been well. We in November now, Premier League and all the soccer leagues around the world really gearing up. A lot of twists and turns. It's been interesting to watch, man, and so I'm happy to be here to discuss it with you, man.
Cool, man. All right, let us get into this, man. So let's go Champions League first, man. How'd you feel about the last few Champions League games, man? From this
Champions
past week.
League was pretty cool to watch, man. Taking a look at some of these scores, refreshing my memory. Your boys definitely put on a excellent performance.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
wasn't expecting that score line. You guys took care of business in every way against a up and coming, competitive club, man, that has a lot of talent all over the park. So that was really surprising to me, just that score line. That was my big takeaway. What about you?
Yeah, man, mine was definitely my Manchester United boys pulling it off. You told me that if we would be, you know, at this point in the league period, then I couldn't have helped you out, man. But so I got to do some stuff for my Manchester United nation here. Because I got a couple of things I've written down. I'm gonna go ahead and even though it's late and things haven't happened the way we wanted this weekend. But hold on, let me get my screen sharing right, just for all those people out there that was giving us some hate. Mainly you, brother. Mainly you.
I
Mainly you.
definitely,
I'm just saying, Marcus Rashford is bona fide, baby. I mean, let that man breathe. You was out here talking crazy about Marcus, man.
yeah. Marcus Rashford definitely clinical. Excellent performance. I got nothing but kudos. Definitely made me eat my words, man, and hell of a performance for you guys. Hell of
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Like it's the Marcus Rashford show. Um, it was on point, man, and I appreciate that brother for that. Like, man, it was something, man. My phone missed a
Top
touchdown for my
5,000
rookie. Did you hear it on
stacks,
your end?
depending on what club I'm at.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely I understand where you're going with this. Even in the game today, he's really just improving overall, man. Becoming well rounded. He used to be a lot of just direct and pace, but now I'm starting to see the skill, and so very pleased for him and you guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm technically surprised. Another thing that surprised me is Real Madrid in this group stage, man. Like they barely scraped away with that with that tie. They were looking at maybe not even making out this group, if they would have lost that game.
Yeah, against the German side, yeah, 2-2. That is a
Yeah.
very surprising scoreline. This is not Real Madrid of yesteryear, where they just bully everybody, put big numbers up on the board. I mean, it
Hmm.
seems like if any time in recent history they are there for the taking, and that scoreline just proves it.
Yeah, man. That's it's crazy because I was thinking about it like when we'll talk about it going forward, but I mean like even Barcelona looked bad even though they lost. I mean, even though Barcelona looked bad against no, Barcelona ended up beating Juve. I'm sorry.
Two
But
none.
Juve was, and that's another question. It's like, are we seeing, and that was, I guess this is a bigger question, and we can piggyback off of this. Are we seeing a change of the guard in European soccer? Because Juve looked like they were horrible. They had been horrible without Ronaldo. And Ronaldo's 38. How long can he ride this horse?
Exactly. A lot of clubs, who have traditionally been powerhouses have aging superstars. They all kind of have the same problem where the guy that's really made the difference is getting older. And, it's, I think the franchises are struggling with accepting that fact and not really doing necessarily a real good job of ushering that next wave of talent. But I think it's going to be exciting, and I think that European Super League is going to also play a big factor. I think, come
Mm.
Christmas time, when the window opens back up for transfers, we're going to see a lot of teams spend money like Chelsea did this past offseason.
So you think everybody's going to become like, okay, well, we need to go ahead and break some bread off now.
I think so. I mean, you see Barcelona, the what is it, sporting director, the president. One week he says there's no way that he's stepping down or leaving the club. The next week, he's retiring, and you sent me that link where he was talking about his last action. And I know we're trying to talk about La Liga, but it all kind of piggybacks and it's a big gumbo of decision makings and how it's going to impact the future because like he's saying, he's accepting the Super League, the European Super League invite. You got to retool that club to be able to compete in that sort of tournament, and that means $200-300 million got to be spent. I mean, to be able to compete player wise.
So I mean, if we're going to have a lot of different players moving, do you think it's going to be a lot of surprising names we'll see moving?
I think so, and I think that you're going to see a real arms race. Hiring mercenaries like we've never seen before, and I think you're going to have to go all out, and somebody's going to really have to set the bar on what the talent level for one of these European Super League teams is going to be. I mean, if you look at what Chelsea did just to kind of retool and to be able to compete at the highest level of the Premier League, 250 million pounds in one transfer window. You got to think Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they all got to do that. Plus these German teams, they all got to, write a big check, Manchester City included.
Yeah. Yeah, let's jump into the Super League, man. The Super League it's rolling. It looked like it's rolling. When I sent you that thing, you was like, "Wow."
Yeah. It's funny how this just kind of peel this onion back. We went from talking about a theoretical to this thing picking up speed and becoming real world where the heads of, European powerhouse football clubs are openly admitting that they are accepting the invitations. That's an incredible game changer. That's all in a 6-month, 12-month period? I mean,
Yeah,
who would have thunk it? I guess it was us, right?
yeah, because we was like, man, would it be nice if we had a Super League of all these teams? You were like, financially, these cats are gonna stop wanting to break bread with Girona in your La Liga league. Like, hold on, why are we breaking bread with them?
Right. Exactly.
But something I
Dollars
was
too.
reading was
Right, go
something
ahead.
I was reading though, man. They were saying that there's going to be maybe some issues within their leagues though if they do make this jump, because the league can say, well, you're doing this, well, you can't be in our league now.
Yeah, it's definitely some real concerns. I mean, you're breaking up some of the historical structures. But one of the things that I kind of heard about, and again, this is all fluid, and a lot of different people throwing out different
It'll
theories
change
on
every
what is.
week.
But I'm hearing the European Super League providing some sort of financial compensation for all these smaller leagues and providing some stability to those leagues. So think about it. If the Premier League does, lose the top four or the top six, those middle of the pack lower league teams, Wolves, Sunderland, Fulham, those teams want some
Mhm.
financial help from a Manchester City. So there's some gives and takes where, financially, if you're able to kind of at least bring stability to a smaller club, you might preserve these smaller leagues.
Oh, so you're saying that maybe they're going to get some kickback back. Like, so from like, if whatever money we win in this league or whatever money we get in this league, 10-15% goes back to the league, the English Premier League or La Liga or whatever.
Exactly. Right. For allowing
Ah, okay.
the exit team to leave, they're going to get some sort of kickback financial compensation. That's the only way you can really get people to agree to it. Like, yeah, you leaving, but you're helping us and showing some love and bringing some stability to the original league. That's a trade-off we may be able to accept.
Do you think that they'll stay in their leagues, or will this become the league they'll be in, or do you think they will just leave the EPL
I think that's
and
one
this will
of
be the league now?
it. to be determined. I mean, who knows? That's the big unknown.
Wow,
Look,
that'd be crazy if this would be just the league, like the league we have now, like, and everything else
I
is just kind of just minor league then, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to say it can't happen, man, because like you look at a sport like baseball that's supposedly all about tradition, but you see, even in baseball, the playoff structures changing, starting runners on second base. I mean, things that you would say are incredible and had no ever conceivable possibility back in '87. Today, it's a whole different ballgame. I think we could potentially see the very same thing in this European Super League.
Mm. Dang, in the European Super League, that's crazy to think about, man. That is a possibility in itself. Um, so hold on real quick, man. So what other things do you think that we could be seeing from this European Super League financially? If you look at it, it's so many possibilities, man. It's like it's almost like choose your adventure, where it's just like whatever you kind of could throw out there could be a possibility.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking that we kind of touched on this last podcast is how they consume the game specifically in Europe is almost a per game pay per view situation. So I think that the way they're going to be able to deliver this European Super League on multiple platforms and how the calendar and schedule would lay out, I think it's going to be something completely different, man. I think it's going to be something completely different and for the better. More access, unprecedented access. Even some of these new stadiums, like um, they're building out where you can now see the players, in the dressing room through like a see-through walls and different camera angles of preparation before game that you've never seen. I think they're gonna just make it all about content, make it very consumer friendly, and then you're gonna have people all over the world subscribing to this European Super League, and it's just gonna be incredible return on investment for them. Yep.
Mm. Dang, it's gonna be ill, man. I can't wait to see how this all comes out. Um, so let's go jump into this Barcelona update, man. You want to jump in this and what your feelings are with Messi wasting away in La
Yeah,
Liga?
man. Yeah, that's why I want to throw this one on there. I hate to see it, man. We watch these superstars, from kids, teenage talents. Will they make the grade, and then they develop into superstars and become legends of the game. And he definitely paid his dues at Barcelona. Tried to get away this off season. The drama with that, pulling him back in and then just watching the club, crumble all around them, man. So much talent that is lost. Their front office is in shambles. And, I think not including this weekend, I think he went 6 games, no goals. So it's just kind of like the talent is drying up and being wasted, man. And I'm not really sure what we're going to expect next from La Liga. Any thoughts on Barcelona, what you're seeing from Messi right now?
Yeah, with Messi, man. It just seemed we said we wondered if he was gonna be on cruise control. Like, all right, man, whatever. But then some of the young guys coming up on their squad was like maybe he would kind of could maybe inspire him some. He just don't seem like it's inspiring, man. It's just like, all right, man.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
Y'all sit me down for a year.
it doesn't feel like he's clicking with those young guys, and are they're almost a little afraid to play with him, not sure how to play with him, and they just haven't had enough
Mm.
time for that system to really click. And it's just real apparent that it needs to be a total rehaul at Barcelona. I think that's the inevitable, but it's just kind of hard to watch this right now. An aging superstar, a former shell of himself.
Could you see that Manchester City, and we got this on the docket, and we can kind of combine them, going ahead and making that splash in December since they need a finisher. But is Messi a finisher at this point? Is he's more a facilitator at this part of his life, right?
I gotta stick to my guns. I never felt like, even when it was heavily rumored and felt real that Manchester City was pursuing Messi, I didn't think that was the right fit. They got so many young talented pieces at Manchester City right now. He just didn't seem like the next building block in my mind. So when that did fall through,
Hmm.
it was like no harm, no foul. And then I would have looking at this because I know we missed last week's pod, but looking at the performance of Manchester City in the Premier League just this past weekend, I think actually they're okay and they don't need a Messi. That young kid Torres, who was an attacking midfielder,
Yeah.
the coach now Pep, he's saying no, actually he's a striker and a clinical finisher. So shit, he's scoring goals. He look, man. He improves, so you can't tell me he's not.
In actuality, him not going to Manchester City now actually may have blocked him from going there because now they're like, okay, well we good what we got.
Exactly. It's given an opportunity for Torres to shine, and I think he just fits overall in Manchester City with what they want to do in the same sort of age group, where it all makes sense for the guys to be playing together.
Is Messi stuck in Barcelona? Since Man City's looking like they may not get him, is he stuck
I
there?
don't think that he's stuck. I mean, a guy his talent level, you're going to always have some suitors. Um, but I just don't.
But does he want to go though? I'm saying, will he accept it? Is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, of course, anybody can try to pick him up, but will he
I
accept it?
think that this delay of being in Barcelona again during this 2020 season, 2021 season is going to hurt him. Option wise, I think now the Premier League doesn't really make a lot of sense for him. I think Italy starts to become a much brighter option for him because of the pace of the game. That's why.
Okay, so then next we have Real Madrid in the same league with them. Ramos came back, and it seemed like they were a different squad. He came back firing. Scored 2 goals for them in his comeback game. Does he make that much of a difference for them?
Yes and no. I think he's an important piece. I was going to ask.
He's an agent piece too. He's an agent
Yeah,
guy as well.
exactly, a building block, and so it's a major change. And I'm not sure that they have the next guy ready. I mean, even though they do have a lot of talent, I'm not sure that it's a bona fide, solidified guy that's ready to come in and take over that spot. The other thing is, I don't know if you caught this. I saw a highlight where Benzema he was talking in French to another player on Real Madrid, telling them not to pass the ball to the Brazilian. What is it, Vinicius? Basically saying, he sucks. Don't pass him the ball. And this is when they're in the tunnel coming back out after halftime. But they're speaking in French. He's Brazilian. He speaks Portuguese. So he didn't even catch, that they was talking shit. So I was like, oh, now this is just a clear-cut example. And you know how Real Madrid is in Spain. This is like all over the back page. This is all, you know what I mean? Now it's a rift in the dressing room on top of what you're seeing on the pitch. So, just injury to insult there.
Yeah, I mean that's this. I mean, if you look at, Atletico Madrid needs to make they strike now at the league.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's very, very, it's a lot of stuff going on all over the place. Barcelona just tied with Girona this past week. Like the time is now. Atletico Madrid wants to make that move.
Exactly. Or, a major ownership investor, a foreign investor. Now, about Atletico Madrid or some of those other smallest La Liga clubs. I mean, just think if they get another oil owner, a Russian billionaire, somebody to come in there, I totally agree with you. The time is now where you can elevate a club and strike and run,
Mm-hmm.
the roost of La Liga. I like to see that.
Yeah, I like this. I like to see that, man. I mean, same thing I feel with Juventus. Like all those other teams in Serie A got a chance to come up. Milan needs. This is time for Milan to come back to glory. Like this is their time to get back shining.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Time is there, but it's all about the financial investment. The ownership groups have changed so much, and when you look at coronavirus and just the
Yeah.
whole global economic impact, is this the time to splash the cash? Maybe if you got funny money, yes, but a lot of business people, saying, "Hold on, let's just see how this is gonna play out first."
So I mean, because does it seem like Ronaldo's bored in Juventus too though as well?
I don't know what the carrot is for him to chase anymore. What the challenge is? You got all the money, you got all the trophies. You know, I mean, is he going through the midlife crisis? I saw he got the buzz cut now. He cutting his hair off.
Yeah, like what's
Who
going
knows?
on?
Man? Who knows, man?
Like it seemed like after that Champions League loss, he was just like, man, dang. And then it seemed like he lost everybody, all his wingers, everybody's gone. Like what Bencourt, I think is the only person there. The starting is there. I mean, Weston McKennie came in and did some great things today. Today he had an assist, the first American with an assist in Serie A.
Oh, that's big too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
quite the account.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just interested to see if this transfer window is anything that you said that you think is going to be. I mean, I guess at this point, I wonder for a team now having a great player name on their team doesn't mean as much because you can't put nobody in the seats. If that makes sense. So what is it? What is it now? Like before Manchester City, like, yeah, we gonna sell all kind of jerseys. I mean, I guess you can sell jerseys and stuff still, but you can't bring nobody in the stadium to see Messi or to see Ronaldo if you pick him up. Is it worth your club going after him at this point?
I think it's the way that they're gonna sell the game is gonna have to change, man. And that's where some of those other things I was talking about, more behind the scenes, more exclusive content, more of the social media interaction. I think the names of the players on the pitch does matter, man, because wins and losses is always, going to be most important. And, position in the table is going to judge if you're a big club or a small club, is how is your team performing. So at the end of the day, players matter. Players matter.
That's real, man. Dang. All right, man. Let's go into this EPL, man. English Premier League. Man, Manchester United took a L today to Arsenal. Last week, we played y'all boys to a 0-0 tie. I want to give a shout out to Mendy, though, man, before we even dive further. Man, Mendy has been the best thing ever. That's the best transfer, I think, of any team throughout Europe in this whole window, period.
Hey, shout out to my front office, man. They know what we need, and they went out and got it, man. Talk about money well spent. I mean, shout out to the scouts. He didn't even cost us an arm and a leg, but I mean, very athletic goalkeeper, early in his prime, 27, 28 for a goal.
Yeah.
That's a young man for a goalkeeper. Just great size, great reactions, understands angles, doesn't give up bad rebounds, and just most importantly, making the simple plays, man. That's always a knock on the African goalkeepers not being able to use their feet, but he doesn't seem to have any problem playing the ball out of the back, spraying the ball left and right. I'm definitely happy with what I'm seeing from Mendy, man. And at the money that he's making, he is signing himself up for a major payday in another year or two.
And then since we're mentioning Mendy, we have to talk about Kepa now. So is it signed, sealed, delivered? I'm gone.
Absolutely, man. If we
He said absolutely.
to cough up some money anywhere near his original price tag, because I mean, if you remember, we had the number one goalkeeper in the world, and the guy went to Real Madrid, the Belgium.
Yeah.
Thibaut Courtois, something like
Yeah,
that.
Courtois.
Yeah, man. So, we sold him to Real Madrid, and understandable, people want to go to Real Madrid, biggest club in the world, arguably. So that's a step up from Chelsea. I can understand and respect that. But then Kepa being the replacement, $70, $80 million for his, that's a terrible, terrible bet. 50, 60 million pounds, he's on the first thing smoking, that's for sure.
So, but is anybody going? So, are y'all going to have to give him y'all going to have to give a bargain rate for him, or are y'all going, or what?
I think you got to catch somebody desperate, somebody that has a major injury, depleted goalkeeping core, maybe has an opportunity to push for a top four finish. I could see somebody coming in and spending the money because he has the talent. He may need to go back to basics and kind of rebuild himself, but he has something there. I'm just not sure if it's worth 50, 60 million, or will people argue it's worth more 25, 30.
Yeah, I mean, this is like how much you like he's the highest paid goalkeeper in English Premier League, right?
I mean, yeah, he was supposed to be a superstar. He was supposed to be a guy that was going to be on the roster for 20 years. They gave him $70, $80 million, and it's just it just has not worked, man. Even midweek, he looks scary in these tournament games. He looks scary, man. You know what I mean? Every time the ball is coming near him, you just don't know. You just don't know.
Dang, that's ill though, man. So shout out to Mendy, man. We took the L to Arsenal today. Pogba with the penalty, man, on the and that's just it's just sloppy, man. It's like he is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You don't know who you getting, week to week.
Man, listen. I hate and love to see it. I hate and love to see it. Um, what is this guy doing? I mean, he's got all the skills in the world, but I mean, and I love what he said post game. Defending is not his strong suit, and we clearly saw that on display in the box. This guy has no reason to be making that kind of lunging, ill-timed tackle. I mean, you can't blame the referee. I think the punishment was appropriate, and Aubameyang stepped up and under pressure put the ball in the back of the net. De
Yeah.
Gea slouching the goal. But listen, man, it's fun to listen to the legends of Manchester United, of yesteryear. Sit back and reflect on this current team, versus the management of Sir Alex Ferguson, and what we see from, Ali. Um, the defense always shuffling, the formations always changing. Rashford, like I said, I really liked what I saw from Rashford. Even a pass he tried to make to the other forward, Greenwood.
Yeah, Greenwood, yeah.
Excellent. Super tactical, super creative, pushing the ball forward, looking dangerous, but just not enough, man. I just don't understand between your front office and your manager, man. You guys are a shell of your former selves. It's almost like just looking at the Bulls, man. Like the Bulls right now are no way like the Bulls we grew up on in the 90s.
Well, we ain't fell off that far. Come on now. The Bulls won like 18 games last year. We ain't that.
Listen, I understand you're on Kool-Aid, heavy doses of it, but that's the
Do I have to bring the Funk Master Fleck bombs back, man? Hold on, man. Hold on.
that's your reality. And your legends, man, your legends. Roy King was talking about it today, man. He was saying, like, he don't see no leaders on the pitch. Who are the leaders at your club? Who are the leaders?
So I mean, and that's one thing I do think that's a good pickup with Cavani, because if you've seen a lot with Cavani, he's been really mentoring a lot of cats, like showing like, yo, look, this is how we kind of need to rock, because we don't have like our team is very, very young. You got to think Rashford's 22, yeah. Greenwood is 20. I mean, what's Martial, 25? I mean, Pogba, he's 27, but he acts like he's 17. So, Bruno 25, 26. I mean, Van der Beek is 21, 22. I mean, De Gea is like the oldest, like 29, 30. Besides Cavani, Cavani now, Harry Maguire is like 26, So we needed that vet in the locker room, that really can be like, yo, well, this is what we need to be on.
I think it helps, man, but I think that you need more structure. This is the time of the year and the part of the season where the team sheet should be pretty much set. You shouldn't be experimenting a whole lot. Injuries are going to happen. People are going to have card, problems, suspension problems. And so you're going to have to shuffle some of the roster that way. But you guys, it's like a crapshoot, man. Like he just takes all the names. He throws them out there each week.
Well, that's been recently, though, because of Martial being out. That's how everything's been getting shuffled around for at least EPL games. Martial can play in Champions League games, but I think this is his last suspension was today, I believe.
Well, wasn't it before 3 across in the midfield, and then you were commenting yourself that you like Diamond better?
Yeah, definitely.
The younger kid. Talk about youngsters. What is it? McTominay.
McTominay, yeah.
Is he really the quality of a Manchester United player? Is that the
no? No, he's what we got right now. He's what we got right now. That's all it is.
And I had to point at your front office. I mean, that's a poor front office decision. He's not even a young enough prospect to say, well, he's just a young kid and we're giving him a shot. This is just poor talent. Poor.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I think it goes to show you the of where you guys really are. I mean, it's just like the Chicago Bulls right now. That's where you are.
Yeah, I wonder on a bigger level, do we see anything that we can have on a bigger scale? And we're looking back at like, okay, well, we need to do this, we need to do this. We need a center back. We know we need another winger maybe or another midfielder. It's just what we just knowing how to put those keys into that spot. We got a lot of good young youth talent, behind us. I'm just interested to see how he's going to keep the diamond going. I'm fine with that, but just stick with it. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to rock that, let's rock it. Because Fred has been killing it, though, man. Fred has been, like, probably the MVP of the squad right now, him and Rashford, because he's been doing all the dirty stuff. He's doing the CDM stuff. He's doing CDM stuff for us.
Well, it's funny you say that, and I'll trust your judgment. You watch your club a lot more than I do, but Troy Deeney, a pro, he was talking about Fred, and he was saying that he's a terrible, Brazilian, and says he only creates 3 or 4 opportunities per game, if that. So it was just funny that you say that, Fred.
Yeah, we don't need him to create opportunities, though. He's just getting back on D. He's been great tackling. He's been getting in people. He ain't got to set up nothing. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of playmakers up front already.
And that's definitely true. You're definitely right. And like I said, I defer to you on that. But the other thing I was going to say, and just starting to connect a lot of dots is, and since I hate your club with such a passion, to even give you this hint of path to success. But I think it's overall for the game a good thing. Maybe this European Super League shakes your front office up and says the time to reload Manchester United is right now, and they roll out a $400 million package to go find the best talent to reload in preparation for the European Super League, because you don't want the Super League to launch and then you trying to go put together a team. You rather go amass all the young talent now, so when the Super League kicks off, now we just drive the car the right direction. We mold these guys together. And I think that's what you're going to see from a lot of these elite clubs. And if your team, your ownership group is smart, they go out and spend that 300-400 and just reload across the table and really put in some key guys that can help you guys go to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with it. And then even more, I'm just thinking about, and we can get this. It popped in my head. You have Haaland out there. You know what I'm saying? Is Real Madrid and Barcelona going to be dumping that cash at him, or like what is? He seemed like he's cool there, but who wants to really be at Borussia Dortmund their whole career? That's really the training ground for everybody.
It is right now, but I mean, has their chairman accepted an invite to the Super League? Borussia Dortmund. See, now we don't know that. If they have, they may no longer look at themselves as a.
That's what we saw about last week. Remember, we said that last week. Yeah.
May do exactly what I'm describing and saying, you know what? Let's bet the farm and go for bust in this new league. And what if they came up with $300 to $400 million to add on top of what they got? They changed this whole paradigm and they become a real contender. And you can't say it can't happen. They have the talent evaluation people, some of the best in the business, obviously, right now. What if those guys had $300 million to go buy with? I think they would amass.
Or keep the guys you have, or at least just even re-sign everybody you have and and pay them.
Exactly. Go for bust. And they say this new league is going to be backed by Chase.
Yeah.
So what Chase is going to do is give each one of these super clubs a crazy credit line to go nuts with. There you go.
It's just going. Oh man, this is going to be ridiculous, man. But overall, this EPL year so far, with the table, how are you looking at it and feeling it? I mean, is Wolves it's so early. I guess we really can't even break this down because it's still so early to really be even talking about. Because last week we was giving Aston Villa love, and then they dropped 2 in a row and got blew out 2 times in a row.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to it's hard to really give this some true legs right now. I always say I don't take the table too seriously until we get past Christmas. But I do think that we can learn some things and glean some things from what we see right now. Liverpool, obviously top of the table. I think that they're bouncing back and doing really well considering the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see how they maintain. Everton, even though they took a loss this weekend, I was a little surprised by the loss. But they're still, third place in the
Yeah.
table. So, I'm still very surprised and very pleased with them.
Southampton's in fourth.
Southampton. Didn't see that coming. Didn't see
No.
that coming at all. But,
Now, I
again,
mean, now keep in mind, let me peruse and see who they played though.
yeah, take a look at that, who they play.
Yeah,
And,
okay, they tied y'all. Uh,
uh-huh.
they beat Everton. That's the one that got them over the top, and then they beat Aston Villa. So
And I
those are
think
they shining ones.
exactly. So, not chumps, but not necessarily the roughest patch of the table for them just yet. Of course, my Chelsea, right where we should be, number 6. Outside looking in, we got a lot of new people come on board this offseason. We're gelling 3-0 this weekend. I like our position. I like where we are.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it's 7 games in. I mean, 6 games for us, 7 games for y'all, and it's just gonna be interesting, moving forward. I mean, honestly, I thought we was on at this point. I thought we was gonna have all kind of L's this year. Just with I didn't expect us to even win any games for real this stretch, just because it was like it's so hard. So I'm not gonna get too down on this Arsenal loss, just because I didn't expect it. It's just not expected that we were going to be able to sustain that over a time period. I mean, we get Everton Saturday, which would be a big one. So, and then we have Istanbul. So, I mean, who do y'all have this week?
I'm not sure who we got in either league, but before we move on, I want to ask you, with Manchester United in 15th place in the table, are you concerned that you guys are going to end up in a regulation battle?
No, come on now.
Is it too early? Think about
Come
this
on
now.
now. Come on now. Come on now.
Hold on now.
Come on now. Come on now. You're getting ridiculous.
You have to start to consider
This is ridiculous now. No, we don't have to do none of that. This is ridiculous conversation.
You complete denial here. But look at this now. You have Everton coming up. Everton right now is in third place in the table. They lost this past weekend. So they absolutely want to pick up a win and cement themselves in that top 4. I think a loss for you guys, that becomes a
The league wouldn't let us get relegated. They'll start cheating for us before that.
I don't know, man.
No, the league will start cheating. We would start cheating if it got to that point.
Dropping like a stone. I mean, how low in the table do you have to go before they fire the coach?
I mean, we're not going to talk about that because we're not going to be that low on the table. Now, if you want to say how many, what part of the year he'll be gone, anything like that, I'm fine with that discussion. But we're not going to talk about them being lowered, and they're not going to get lowered, so I'm not worried about it.
We'll jot that down. I'm going to mark your words on that and hold you to that. But, I mean, that's what you're absolutely here for, is to talk about this and explain to the viewers and the listeners, man, what is going on with your club. So I don't want to see you tap dance around that. We're going to hold you to that. You guys will not go any lower in this table than 15th position, okay?
Yeah, no, we're not worried about that, man. I mean,
November 1st. Right?
Yeah, we lost 3 games. We 2-1-3. We're fine, man. We're fine. You know what I'm saying?
Over under, your manager makes it to the first of the year. Over under. Because I think that the European, I think they are taking that bet now. A lot of
no, it's out there. It's out there. I would say it's 50-50, honestly, to be honest.
I'm saying 60-40, but I'm a cynic, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying 50-50 just because his success in the Champions League is going to, if they come out here and win that group, you kind of can't, what are you going, I mean, are you really want to shuffle everything up and you just won the group?
I mean, you said what?
Now, if we go out here and lose to Istanbul tomorrow, all bets are off. Just put all bets are off. We go out and lose Istanbul on Wednesday or Tuesday, all bets are off. He's gone. The next thing smoking.
Manchester United does not get excited about beating Turkish league teams. I mean that.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying if we lose to them.
So yeah, I mean I think it definitely becomes a much higher probability off with Ali's head if you guys lose to him. I took a look here while you was chatting. We have Rennes from France. Chelsea does. So I definitely feel like we'll.
Okay, that's Mendy's former team too.
Exactly. So I think that means that he can't. He might not be allowed to play against
No,
them.
he should be able to play. He's not on loan. That's only in loan.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
he should be able to play. Yeah, because that's only on loan. You was worried you had to have Keppa in.
Because I might Kappa talk about 50-50.
That's more 80-20.
Yeah, 2080. Kappa's in there. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank the football gods. Thank the football gods.
Yeah. No, he's a full signing, so he's straight. Let's jump into our Arsenal fan favorite. Jump into this Jack Wilshere thing, man, with English, and then we'll wrap that into Freddie Adu. We teased that a little bit last week that we wanted to talk about Freddie Adu, so there's no better time.
Yeah. So Jack Wilshere, man, we have mentioned Freddie Adu multiple times on this podcast, and it got me thinking about Jack Wilshere. He's kind of the English equivalent to Jack Wilshere. He was a young prodigy. Really, they kind of start scouting him 14, 15 years old. He was a really big name. One of his claims to fame is being named to the England national team at like 16 years old. So that was very, very big deal for him coming up. Being at Arsenal, playing that ticky-tack, that beautiful, sort of game that Arsenal's known for. He was slotted into that team and really showed out well and flashes in the pan during his early years. But like a lot of these youngsters, man, a lot of times they get too much too fast. You start getting caught up in a lot of different scandals, drinking scandals, domestic
Early.
violence scandals, drinking and driving. And I mean, we all live and learn, man, but, never really kind of lived up to that potential of being that next superstar, that Wayne Rooney sort of level. He never really made it to those sorts of heights. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. And now there's talk about him, he's kind of in the last few years declined. From going from Arsenal, a top, 5, top 6 team in the Premier League, dropping down to smaller clubs in the Premier League, Bolton Wanderers, stint in West Ham United, a stint at Bournemouth, to now, kind of aging out. And they're talking about him, making the jump across the pond to the MLS. And so I just thought that was kind of interesting, man.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think that? So let's talk about this Freddie Adu. How is it compared to Freddie Adu for people that may not remember Freddie Adu or heard of him?
Well, Freddie Adu was a young phenom, and so that's kind of the connection that they both have. Both early teenage years with a lot of spotlight all over the magazines, at that time, the internet in its early ages. Those were the names that were talked about as being the next big thing. So Freddie Adu on this side of the pond, Jack Wilshere on the English side.
So the Freddie Adu, man, I did a deep dive, man, on him. He started out, all about, making the U.S. He was on the U.S. under squad in the early 2000s, killing it. He had 16 goals for for 3 different squads in the U.S. under teams. Everybody was thinking that he was the big signing for DC United, right, when they first came in, right?
That's right. In the MLS, that's right.
Yeah, so then he went DC United. Then I'm looking here when Real Salt Lake. Then he went over to Benfica, and then he was on loan to AS Monaco. Then he was at Belenenses. Then he was at Aris. These are all loans. Kayakur Rizapur, loan. Then he ended up on the Philadelphia Union. Is that a part of the?
That's an MLS team.
MLS, okay. Then he went to Bahia, Jogdina, Cups, KUPS. Then at Kufu, 98 on loan. Tampa Bay Rowdies, the Las Vegas Lights, and now at the Osterland Football Club, or FF, I guess. This is his whole journey since 2004. So,
wow, true journeyman, true.
Yeah, that's a lot of clubs since 2004.
Yeah, that guy's been living out of a suitcase, I'm assuming, for many, many years, man. That just goes to show you, man. Soccer, man, football. It can look like it's gonna all break your way, and it may not necessarily happen, man. but a lot of things these guys have in common, the big paydays at such a young age. Freddie Adu, when he was, 14, 15 and on that DC United, he was making, top player money at that
Yeah.
time. He was 15, 16 years old on top of all the marketing and off the field money that he was, because he was a Nike athlete, if I recall correctly, Wheaties, all of that, so yeah, man, never really came to the top.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like why he even, what was his biggest downfall? Was it just that he just wasn't fully equipped or
It felt like it was the mental side of the game. Um, some of these guys you see in different sports where, like in football, like a AB, it's like, is he mentally not there? Is he mentally aloof? Freddie Adu wasn't like that. It was just like he could just never put it all together. He'd be cooking the gumbo, but always leave something major out, and just could never put it all together.
Yeah, they said he did all right with Benfica his first first year, but then he just struggled from there, and they just kept loaning him out, and it never popped for him. He never really got the start and love on for the U.S. squad, because remember he was like, oh, he's gonna take us to the mountaintop, and it's almost like, what was the guy that everybody thought was better than LeBron James that came in that draft with him, and he's like super big now and fat. I forgot the dude's name. He was supposed to be better than LeBron, though, and he didn't get drafted, or he got drafted like late.
I'm thinking of the guy from Ohio State that had the foot problems, but he looked like an old man when he got
Oh, you're
drafted.
talking about
Washington?
Lenny Cook is the kid's name. Lenny Cook is the kid I'm talking about.
Okay.
Lenny Cook is the one that I'm talking about. But you're talking about old man. He looked like he is LeBron's daddy. I can't remember his name now. Why can't I remember his name now?
Oden or
Portland
something?
Trailblazers.
Greg Oden?
Greg Oden. Yeah, that's it. Greg Oden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg Oden. Yeah. Greg Oden.
Was he in that same draft? I can't remember, man.
No. Greg Oden is way after.
Okay.
Greg Oden was in the same draft with what you call it? With Rose.
Derrick Rose. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Marcus Beasley was the second pick in that draft.
Wow.
I remember that. He was the second pick in that draft. He was second. So yeah, it was Greg Oden. No, you know what? What you call it was not in his draft. Third pick in his draft was Al Horford. Then it was Mike Conley four. So he wasn't in his draft. So, but last up, man, let's jump into our Gareth Bale Player of the Week, Mario Balotelli.
Yeah, man, Mario Balotelli, man, boy, he's had a roller coaster career.
I mean, it's like he's the black version of Zlatan, but without doing nothing.
Yeah, a lot of hype, not a whole lot of substance. I knew when he was doing fireworks in the bathroom mansion, when he made the newspaper for that, I knew this guy didn't have it all. He didn't have it. It's one thing to be doing fireworks at your mansion, but not inside of your bathroom. Most people don't.
Like, what is that? That doesn't even make any sense at all.
And then I love when he used to score the goals and he used to wear the T-shirt underneath his jersey that say, "Why always me?" Because, they'd always be pointing the blame, somebody saying he's doing something.
Why always be? That's hilarious. Because he was said so much promise. He could have been a marketing genius thing for a marketing company. If he had played it straight, he had the hair, you know what I'm saying? He's got this personality. He's got all those things you would want for a Gillette commercial. You know what I'm saying? All the things you want for the Right On commercial. The Nike ad where, maybe him running, hustling, and doing some dribbles and, doing some shakes. That was all set up for him to do that.
I think so. I think he had a lot of emotional, scarring and issues. He's
He was
Italian.
adopted or something crazy, right?
He's Italian by passport, adopted by an Italian family, small Italian town. Just the racism that was impacted on him growing up in a small Italian town as an African kid to an Italian family, you can only imagine what that was like. And we see what happens to pro football players in Italy, the bananas, the monkey noises,
Mhm.
all that sort of stuff. Even on the Italian national team, we've seen that in qualifying games and World Cups and European championships, where that stuff is taking its toll, on him mentally. And I think that's always impacted his development overall.
Yeah, it's a shame, man, that he could have been better, man. And now he's at what team is he on now? Let me see. I had him pulled up. He's at like a lower like Italian Serie A squad, I believe. He's on.
Isn't it like Shia or something like that?
Yeah, it's something. Hold on, it's Brescia.
Yeah. And
He's
it's
on.
sad, like you say, yeah, Brescia Calcio is the club that he's at now, and before that, he was at a real small club in France. And I mean, he was doing the business, like you said, talent level like Zlatan. Will try things that other players wouldn't even think about and execute them. But just off the field, man, mentally just has never had it all there.
Yeah, I don't even understand. I mean, like you said, maybe it's some other stuff going on, with him, along with that. Like, it just seemed like basically after he left Milan that time, I mean, well, he was already kind of a basket case, I know before, right? Even before he started really falling off.
Well, yeah, some of the stories with him is he really got into it. He had the Italian coach Mancini at Manchester City. That's right when they got the Arab money at Manchester City to begin with. He was part of the cash infusion buy. He was the hot young next best thing, and like I said, he was doing those Zlatan sort of things, and he was fun to watch. All eyes on him. And that's why the paparazzi and the off the field stuff was coming so hot and heavy as well, because he was producing on the pitch. But he ended up having a major argument with Riccardo Mancini when he was the manager at Manchester City, and that's what really started the shipping him of moving around. Back to Italy, dumped in France, back to Italy again, and next thing you know, the guy's 30 years old and on his way out of football.
Yeah, I mean, does any team take a chance on him at this point or no?
I think, man, MLS is always a great, landing area for guys like him. And I think definitely China will be calling for the services of a guy like him. China loves Africans, and they got a lot of money, man. You see, especially these older, aging African strikers specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You see them land and take that last big payday in China. So I can definitely see him on that sort of path.
Yeah, that'd be crazy though, man. If he went to the MLS, I mean, that probably would be some good place for him. Maybe, as long as he's not he can't go to Miami though or something. He got to be somewhere kind of chill, like Sporting KC or something, where he can
I don't know, man.
relax.
He's kind of a big time personality and guy. I mean, Milan's a huge city. Manchester City's not that big, but he was always in London and spending the nightlife in Paris, and you know what I mean. So I could see him in a New York City sort of environment. You know what I mean, and being okay there.
Yeah. Well, man, let's go and wrap it up, man. Where can everybody hit you up at, man?
Man, at Phoenix Piff on Twitter, man, definitely been getting some engagement, some new listeners.
Yeah.
Guys from Nigeria threw me a friend's request, man. So definitely appreciate that, and love talking the game, man, and pushing your buttons on there. So
Yeah, man, it's all good. I'm not even tripping, man, because we're gonna rise back up, man. We'll be back, and I ain't worried about nothing. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We not getting relegated. There's none of that stuff. Is people if you don't all my man, you listeners, don't let them gaslight you with this, man.
keep your eyes on the table, man. Keep your eyes on the table.
All right, man. Well, we can get out of here. Thank y'all for listening. Email us straightolc@gmail.com with all your questions and comments. You can tweet us at straightolc as well and get with us and ask any questions. And, we look forward to hearing some more questions from people too.
Absolutely. Been good,
All right,
man.
y'all. Peace.